This week, I had an appointment with my oncologist. Now, it's been many years since I stopped treatment and over 10 years since first getting diagnosed with a stage 4 cancer. And I used telehealth. I had a telehealth appointment with my oncologist, and I did partly because my doctor's in another country. And even if I was in Australia, my commute to see my specialist would be at least around 90 minutes each way. And my specialist works with people that are very unwell and that require her time. And so often, if I'm out at the hospital, we get out there and someone like myself 10 years ago may need a lot of time. And so often there's long waits that are associated with that. And that is all fine. I understand that being in the easy basket of healthcare is a very good thing. And I'm very happy that the limited time that my oncologist has goes to patients that require it. And then I get my quick a minute or 2 minutes. And so for me, being able to receive that information via telehealth, have some information that's shared, get an update, see you in 6 months, telehealth works really, really well. And with that, it got me thinking, well, where is telehealth at? Where is it? Where are we going? We can see that the majority of patients and prescribers. So if you're a doctor, generally you want to do telehealth. I think you can go back to back. If you're looking at patient care, if you do it right, I still think that many doctors would say that they're able to give really good quality of care. For some instances, you may want to be able to assess that individual in person. So there may be certain groups of patients that you want to see in person, and that's completely fine. As a patient, you want the convenience. You want to be able to be in your home, in your office, wherever you are, ideally just getting your phone and having that appointment with your doctor. That is what we thought the future is going to be, right? So after we went through 2020 with COVID, where exceptions were made to be able to allow things like telehealth and virtual clinical trials to take place, you get a sense that, oh, this is the future. This is where we're going. And then you can see that it's not always set out, because as certain forces want to take us to the future, often what that means is that there's been some winners in a domain. And in terms of healthcare, there's certain people that have been making a lot of money. And when there's new models that come in, some of these old systems aren't always well equipped or are too slow moving to then be able to see what this change is going to be, which means new players, entrepreneurs, new individuals can team up, do it alone, and go in and often create some really big success. So there's always this push and pull that occurs, and healthcare is like one of these last domains where we're really going to be able to see this digitalization and what occurs. And so what I think is helpful to explore today is the different perspectives. Because as a patient, you can get stuck in, I want the convenience, I want to do telehealth, it is going to be best. And for things like accessing medical cannabis, the question is, and this will get some offside, do you need to be in front of that doctor? Right? So we see that there's going to be regulation changes, and we see what is the future of telehealth for cannabis patients. That question is something we're going to dive into today. And the only way I think we can do it is by looking at the different perspectives. So the perspectives are: patient wants something often, particularly with the crunch that's happening in terms of pockets for individuals and financing. They want a low-cost option. They want it convenient, and they want it delivered via convenience, and they want it low time. Now, doctors, they've got a duty, right? They've got their duty of care, and they want to keep their licenses. So that's something we've got to think. And they're businesses in themselves. So they've got to make their money. The clinic, the hospital, where they're operating out of, or their own clinic, that has to also operate at a premium or at a level which allows them to be able to create their funds. And then we've got the government, which regulates it all. So if we have a look at those different domains, utilize that as the basis for moving ahead. And just in terms of that last point around government needing to regulate, you may have the libertarians out the back saying we don't need to regulate, but that's a story for a different day, particularly when we're looking at things like cannabis. And just for now, imagine if we got like the usual suspects were walking in, right? So imagine there's a lineup. Who would be there? Well, if we're looking at telehealth and what's gone on, you'd obviously have ketamine clinics in the USA and what happened at the back of 2021 and 2020, moving onwards around the prescription of ketamine that just went out to people's homes during COVID. Probably didn't go too well, particularly without the right monitoring. You got the cannabis clinic model that started in Canada, came to Australia, is often seen in the UK and other parts of the world as well. Another usual suspect. Some delivering it really well. Others have brought question and issues of integrity into the space. And then you've got to include your opioids and benzos as well. And so what's happened with telehealth is that we've got this new way of delivering healthcare, but we're still trying to deliver it in this old system, and that's not going to work. We're moving ahead too fast. Patients are mindful of what they want to spend, how they want to access it, and how they have convenience. And we're increasingly going to see these models adapt and modify and get to that point 5 to 10 years away when most, if not everything, is completed via telehealth and supporting technology to ensure that, like this doctor talked about, there's no ways to be able to monitor risk. It's 2024. Of course, there are ways to be able to do this, but being stuck in an old system of thinking stops patients from being able to access when they want, how they want, and at what cost they want. We need choice. Telehealth has to be there, and we need innovators to step up. What we're asking for, if you're still on, is we got some questions we want to know. As I said, we don't have all the answers, but we got 6 questions. We're going to put the link here and it's going to be below. And we're interested to get your input. What do you think? How can you be part of shaping what your future healthcare looks like? And how can healthcare be personal for you, not personalized healthcare? How can healthcare be personal to you? We believe that involves telehealth. We'd like to hear your thoughts. This is Chad from OnTracker. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.